first round pick.
Hey, throw that list away, all right?
Why are we around?
Yo, welcome to the show. It's a Chiefs Blitz night. Breaking down the plays, keeping everything tight. From my homes to the defense, we give you the scoop. Real talk, real stats, we the ultimate troop. This ain't no game, it's our passion on display.
The baby
Chiefs
himself.
Blitz podcast, real fans unite. Every touchdown scored, we ignite the night. From tailgate chatter to post-game debate, we love our Chiefs, yes, never too late.
I would even bring MVS back in the middle of the season.
Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar, sponsored by ChiefsBlitz.com, presented by UnderdogFantasy.com. Here's your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar. I am your host, Nick Athan. We are sponsored by Chiefs Blitz, and this is the Four Guys in a Bar podcast. We're going to be three guys in a bar today. And before we get started on today's show, let's talk about our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Play now in Missouri. If you're looking for a great fantasy game, we've teamed up with UnderdogFantasy.com. You can play $5 and get $50. You can use the special promo code Chiefs Blitz. The game is available in 33 states. Check out the availability map. You must be 18, 19, or 21 years older to play, but it's an outstanding game. The app is very simple. You can deposit and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash for new customers, and make sure you use the Chiefs Blitz code, and so you can register to start playing this amazing game. Play Pick'em on Underdog. You can, with all your favorite NBA players, James, Curry, Ball, anybody and everybody who's in the NBA, you can play higher or lower. It is an amazing product. It's very simple to use. If I can do it, anybody can. And just make sure when you log on to UnderdogFantasy.com, make sure you use the code Chiefs Blitz. That's right, Underdog Fantasy. We make it really easy here at the Four Guys in a Bar podcast. You can see the scan button right there. Just put your phone up there and just make sure when you go, you enter the code Chiefs Blitz and you'll be registered to play. Right now, the NBA's in the playoffs, NHL's in the playoffs, got college baseball. You got a whole bunch of sports you can do. It's a great game. If I could do it, anybody could do it. And I'm still on the positive after the last 5 months. So I feel pretty good there. So we're joined by Mr. Lou Montagna, the other
That's right. Let's go.
Coach.
No time for a hangover, man.
No hangovers.
Draft is over. We got business to take care of here. Let's go.
So, we want to shout out Hense. He couldn't make the show today. This is his first miss. Since we started
all-time
2.5 years ago.
That's
he's got some stuff going on and family stuff, so it's all good.
So if you got some really old people out there, this is a prime opportunity for him to get Wally pipped.
Yeah.
Man, dang, Will.
The favorite player of it seemed like back in the day of every fan base was the backup quarterback. So come on, man. Mango. This is it. This is your shot.
You gotta step it up, Mango. Step up, man.
Mango's in the control room today, so he's doing he'll do a good job. So no worries.
I'm pretty sure he'll do a fantastic job, man.
Yeah. Hey, before we start, I want to shout out to Ruben DeCruz, who's always the first guy to come on. Our good friend Broncos Tube is on there as well.
Weston.
There he is. And Ruben's up there, of course. A Canadian Canuck is in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Weston is in the house. So we appreciate you guys a
Big
great
dub.
deal. They should come in on the show. Ask questions.
Weston.
Got a few things to talk about in Chiefs land. But before we get started, I believe Mr. Lou Montagna, we're going to do a Chiefs
We're going, right? We're not taking any time off. This is the non-playing season, but not for us. No way. It's Wednesday, so it's time for Chief Who. That's right, folks. It seems like everybody in the chat is well aware of this, but hey, there's other people watching, listening. This is a great game. Everybody can participate. We'll limit you to one guess, but that's okay. Hey, I'm going to read off a series of concocted clues that will tell you which Chief this is. So, without further ado, well, let's get the glasses first.
Come on, man. You messing up, Lou. Put them glasses
Let's go.
on.
All right. So, per normal, this Chief was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. Always my favorite clue.
Always that narrows it down.
Every time. Number 2, this Chief rolled the dice coming out of high school. Okay. Roll the dice coming out of high school.
Play baseball instead of football. Okay.
Right. Clue number 3. First team all conference, also all American, his senior season.
Nope.
Any guesses? Anybody got anything? Okay. Last one. He was a semifinalist for 2 major college football awards. Semifinalist for 2 major.
This is a current Chief, correct?
College football awards, of course, Nick. Yes, yeah. Good clarification. We were mixing it up a little bit, but now we're back to the bread and butter. That could be like 50 guys. Well, no, not necessarily, Weston. Not everybody makes their conference All-American team. Not everybody is a semifinalist for 2 major college football awards. And not everybody rolled the dice coming out of high school, lest being a 3-star recruit.
Mm-hmm.
So, Coach, what do you have for us?
Nick Bolton.
Nick Bolton is not this Chief.
Okay.
Nick.
Yes, so it
is a present Chief.
On the 53-man roster.
There is no 53-man roster currently, Nick. We've been through this before. There's a lot of guys that are on the team right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
right. I'm gonna say now if I know Lou,
and
it's
you should
probably, and I do. I have an inkling it's one of the draft picks. I could be wrong. And I probably am because I'm terrible at this game.
Luke got that poker face on.
He's got the no clues. So I'm gonna say Josh Simmons.
Look at Nick. It is not Josh Simmons.
Damn.
Anybody in the Broncos 2 has RB. Does that mean running back or I don't know what else?
Probably. Yes.
Mean Gardner Minshew. It is not Gardner Minshew.
That was a good one.
Chris Jones. All right.
And Chris Estemicio.
Who we got? Gillette. I mean, Gelati? No, it is not him. Parking lot. Hey, Ruben, props for using the nickname. It is not Omar Norman Parking Lot. All right. Gang. Going once, twice, thrice. We've all had a chance. Yes, sir. Nick, you were on the right track. It is a draftee. It is one Noel Williams from Cal. So, yes, our boy Noel Williams, a 3-star recruit. Rolled the dice coming out of high school, went to UNLV for his first 2 years. First team All ACC last year, also was a consensus All-American, and he was a semifinalist for the Bednarik and the Jim Thorpe Award.
Nice.
So there you have it, folks. This week's Chief Who draftee. Yes, he is on the team. I think he will be on the 53, but we can't make that determination quite yet. Noel Williams, Cal Bears.
Williams. All right.
Let's go, gang.
Gotta love it.
Good start. Good start. We're off to a good start.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff, Lou. And of course, we play that every Wednesday. We play Chiefs Who, sponsored by Underdog Fantasy. Again, to sign up, just hit the look at the QR code on the bottom right-hand screen. Put in the code Chiefs Blitz. Make your $5 deposit. You get 50 in bonus dollars. It's a great opportunity to have a lot of fun. And we appreciate all those people who have signed up already. So with that said, we've had an interesting week. Obviously, we all survived the draft. I think we had draft hangover. I certainly did Sunday, Monday, and probably into yesterday.
Yeah, man.
And, I think that we are all in the consensus, and I think the national perspective is pretty solid. Excuse me, the Chiefs got an A draft. So now that the draft is over, the undrafted free agents are in the process of being signed and will be in Kansas City, I believe this weekend, if I'm not mistaken, or the following weekend for the NFL, for the rookie mini camp. The Chiefs took care of a little bit of more other business yesterday and kind of the crux of the show today. And they have decided that they will trigger the 5th-year options for both cornerback Trent McDuffie and defensive end George Karlaftis. What does that mean? The 2026 salaries are guaranteed. Trent McDuffie at 13.4 and George Karlaftis right at $16 million. Obviously, the goal is to get those guys re-signed. But hey, this was an obvious move. Chiefs had to make the decision before tomorrow, and that appears to be the case. So, guys, what do you think?
Well, I think Brett alluded to business that would be coming after the draft. I think this was the first step, short term. That's absolutely what you want to do. You know, give them the 5th-year option. I think furthermore, you probably want to try to get them signed a long-term deal sooner than later. If that's your idea is to do it sooner, you know, because the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost.
Exactly.
The highest paid players at those positions, the money's going to go up. That's what their agents are going to be looking for. George, maybe not, you know, that would be a tough sell. I wouldn't say he's an elite pass rusher. He's a very good pass rusher, and he may still be ascending, but I'm sure in contract negotiations, you know, that he can't ask for the same money as, say, a Trey Hendrickson or, you know, TJ Watt, right? Now, Trent, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to command top 3 or 4 cornerback money, and that's just going to continue to go up. The last 2 or 3 contracts for the top corners have constantly gone up. The interesting thing about Trent is this, and I think we talked about this before, is he does, it seems like, his best work inside.
Yep.
But those guys don't make as much money. Kyler Gordon, I think, for the Bears just became the highest paid slot corner at around $13 or $14 million a year, something in that. As far as APY, I don't know how his money is structured or whatever, but that's it. Whereas somebody like a JC Horn, whatever, you're talking over 20 million APY. So that's going to be an interesting thing, how they negotiate that and where they kind of land on the money. But in terms of the 5th-year option, you got to do it. Those are, you know, you drafted them, you developed them, you don't want to let them go. So yeah,
no, definitely, I definitely agree with you. Trent McDuffie, like you stated, is the one of the best. He probably a top 2 slot corner in the league right now. And you know what I'm saying? He really deserved that pay. If he asked for it, he deserves, because he's been holding down in that position. But we all know
I think the Chiefs would much rather that.
Yeah, exactly.
They wouldn't have to pay him as much.
Exactly. So here's the thing with George, like you stated, George, he's a decent passer. He's not gonna wow you. He's gonna be decent, man. I feel like he just compliment what Spags like to do. But again, like I stated, like what you had stated though, Lou, I believe they really gonna go all in, and Trent deserves the money. Let's be honest. Trent deserves the money. You know, like I said, I mean, to honestly, to keep both of them at the end, to pick up their 5th-year option is huge for them. Like I said, even though George ain't the elite pass rush, but he's very good in his back system.
You know what I think is interesting about this? A couple of points. One is I think that both guys are going to welcome it. You know, they're Chiefs warriors. They were part of this. They're part of that Super Bowl resurgence. You know, they have a lot of confidence in their coaching staff. They like their teammates. They're good guys. They don't get in trouble. You know, the issue with McDuffie is Jimmy Sexton, his agent, and that's obviously the same agent as Trey Smith. So kind of what I think is going to happen is I think Trey Smith will probably get done probably sometime in May. He'll get a long-term extension. And I think that they're going to work on McDuffie next and try and get him done. I think that's probably part of the conversations. You know, if you get an agent with 2 elite players and you get them both under contract, that's good for everybody. You've got a lot of familiarity. I think Karlaftis might be a little bit more difficult. It just depends. Is he going to look for that TJ Watt money, which I don't think he's going to get. And I think that the you know, the tag numbers are pretty dead on, is what I think probably at least Karlaftis is worth. For Trent, I don't know if they're going to pay him that 22 million range, but they may pay him 17 or 18. And, you know, that might be enough. We don't know. And as far as Canadian Canucks question about didn't Snead deserve a contract, he did. The problem was the Chiefs didn't feel comfortable that knee was going to be a long, sustainable issue or a thing that he could overcome. And clearly that's been the case, because he's hurt in Tennessee, and there's even rumblings now that they could cut him as a post-June 1 player, which begs the question, you know, could he come to Kansas City? Yes. You know, Ruben, I think it's entirely possible. But I like the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs corner room. But the Chiefs, you know, had to make these moves. Yeah. And these are 2 key pieces, McDuffie and Karlaftis. They've done nothing but excel at every level. And now with Noel coming in, he can be, he can go. McDuffie can go back to the slot. The Chiefs added some defensive line help as well, including adding parking lot. And so parking lot could be effective. Karlaftis is going to be more effective.
Yeah.
And listen, he has been terrific in the last 2 postseasons for the Chiefs. Obviously good in the regular season, but he's really stepped up his game when it comes to January and February football. And I think that's what you want to see. That's why I'm excited about his future. I don't get any sense that either one of the guys doesn't want to be a Chief for life. I think they're intertwined in the community. I think they realize what Kansas City means and how special it is. And of the young athletes who are, potential or coming into their own and becoming superstars, these guys don't have much of an ego when it comes to, it's a me guy. They're all team guys. So best case scenario would obviously to get them done. But this now allows Brett Veach to go into the 2026 season, have them under contract, work out a long-term deal if it's going to take that long. But my suggestion is they don't make this move unless they feel confident.
So how about this? Would y'all welcome Snead back? If the case may be, and you do get this, would y'all be comfortable bring Snead back to the Kansas City Chiefs?
Again, it's they would have to answer the questions about the knee again. Right. If they kind of saw this coming or the potential for this coming, and all of a sudden now he's not playing. I don't know how many games he actually appeared in last year.
5 or 6.
I don't think it was a lot.
Yeah.
You draft over Chief who was Noel Williams. You bring in Christian Fulton. I don't know that really they want to go backwards in terms of age. They're kind of resetting the whole, staying young on the defensive side of the ball.
Right.
I know one thing that we've talked a lot about, everybody talks about, grade the draft, instant grades, how they do. So I guess you can look at the way I look at it is, okay, if we want to grade this draft we just had, the way you grade it, I guess, is if you look at the board and how it's stacked, did you get value for your picks?
Mm-hmm.
But the proof in the pudding is those 2 first-round picks getting their 5th-year option. So now we can go to the 2022 draft and effectively grade it because you get your top 2 picks are getting 5th-year options. I think you can say that was a successful draft on top of the other guys that are still on the roster, that are still contributing. Now we'll see furthermore if any of those guys get extensions. But, in terms of grading a draft, I think now you can look at the 22 draft and give it a grade because you've seen all of them perform on the field. Several of them were huge contributors to 2 Super Bowl wins.
Yeah, and I think Ruben, how bad is the knee? Well, it was bad enough that he couldn't perform at a high level in Tennessee, and it was, bad enough that the Chiefs, didn't feel like they could extend him. And let's be honest here, the Chiefs had a really good contract offer on Snead. And I think they would have worked around his knee issue and done the things they did that, in his final year before free agency, so they can get as much out of him as they can. So would he come back? I think if he's healthy enough that they can put him out there for, 50% of the defensive snaps, why not? He liked Kansas City. He's got his money. He's got his guarantees from Tennessee, even if they cut him.
He knows the system.
He knows the system, and I think they would have welcomed him back. Yeah. But then again, that means, somebody doesn't make the team. Josh Williams or Izzy Johnson, one of those guys would probably have to be a casualty because, Noel's making it. Fulton's making it.
I say bring him because he know the system and the guys I got now. Because like I said, like you look at Joshua Williams, he underproduced in the sense that he wasn't really a factor for real for the defense, man. Besides special teams, but if you look at what Snead brings to the table, even if he do come back and play less snaps, he got that physicality. He still got that mentality. He's still a tough enforcer for them on the outside. I say he definitely bring him back because he get this secondary edge. You know what I'm saying?
Again, the question is who does he replace? Would he be comfortable coming back here and taking a lesser role?
Right.
Now he's gonna, if he wants to come in, if he goes anywhere, he's gonna want to start. He's gonna want to be the main corner on the field. So now, are you comfortable with that? The way you've shaped the defensive backfield? Yeah, I say, as a player and his talent level, sure. But if you look at the construct of your team right now, again, who are you displacing? You're talking about guys that are probably like the 4th and 5th corners. Well, he doesn't want to come in to be one of them.
No.
He wants to come in. Okay, no, Christian Fulton, you will not start because I'm going to start. No, Noel Williams, you're not going to start because I'm going to start. Right. Jalen Watson, no, you're not starting because I'm going to start. So which one of those guys is going to take a back seat, or who are you not comfortable enough with to say, okay, L'Jarius, absolutely. Now, again, it sounds sacrilegious to say that, because he was one of my favorite players. I would have loved for him to stay, but if you're kind of building your team a certain way, now all of a sudden you're going to change. Who gets forced out, right?
Yeah.
Now I get it, Fulton, it's only a 1-year deal, but Noel Williams you moved up.
I thought Fulton got a 3-year deal. I could be wrong.
I don't know. It's short term either way. It may just be, it might be 3 years on the books, but it's probably more like a 1 year. And let's see. Kind of.
Yes, they put him at safety. Yes, they put him at safety.
So we'll see. I mean, if you had a situation where during camp, if somebody was to get hurt, or like you said, Dre, if they're saying, well, we're not seeing the development in Joshua, we're going to move on. Nazi, same thing. Maybe just time's up sort of thing. And Snead's willing to play more of a nickel role, or like go back to playing safety like he did in college, and kind of where he switched positions, right, to help his team at La Tech. He can certainly still play that.
Yep.
So, but I think a lot of guys, a lot of corners, they're asked to do that. Now they're looking, that's kind of like the old man thing to do.
Right.
Does he have the ego to say, now you're not going to put me out there on the island anymore. You can't do it. Like what probably they'll at some point ask Jalen Ramsey to do on whatever team he lands on.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into it. It's simple for us to just say, oh yeah, go get him. He's, it's LJ, but you got to look at the whole picture.
Yeah. Fulton's deal is a 2-year deal for $20 million with $15 million guaranteed. Right. So basically it's $7.5 million over the next 2 years.
Like a 1-year deal.
If the Chiefs eat the entire 15, they'd have some, if they cut him after a year, that, they have a little cap situation there, but not too overpricing.
Right.
But again, listen, Snead, if the quad injury is he had quad injury, it was surgically repaired in November. He's got to come back, and then you got the knee issue. So now he's got 2 leg issues.
There's just too much on that,
which is a lot for a corner that you're going to be relying on. Again, he knows the system. The Chiefs could use him in a variety of ways to maximize the other corners. But I think it'd be tough for him to crack, to be a starter again based on what we've seen, with the injuries. But I'd still like to have him on my team. And Fulton, I think Fulton's probably was signed to start.
Yeah, and D'Amico, we hear what you're saying, and you put him there, but he's a veteran. They're going to have these discussions before he comes. So if he is honest with himself and says, okay, maybe I can't be a top corner anymore, but if they have me play, kind of roaming around, just being a ball hawk, right, I can still do that. Is he willing to take that role?
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
I agree.
All about that.
I agree. Again, I think the Chiefs made the right moves in signing extending these guys, getting triggering their 5th-year option. Both are elite. They've been part of the success. Again, they're both good guys. And again, it just gives the Chiefs some protection to try to sign them. And if worst case scenario they can't, then they can always tag them in 2027. So they're technically under control because they're first-round picks for the next 3 years. This season, the free agent year, next year, and then the year after. they could be tagged. So the price point would go up significantly.
One of them could be tagged, right?
One of them could be tagged. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
And, and the other one, so bottom line is, I think for people who are saying, well, why didn't they sign Snead? And I think that's the reason why, because of the injury issue.
Yeah.
But I think there's been a change. I think there's been a huge shift in the way the Chiefs have decided they're going to move forward. They know they've got some really good players, and they are going to figure out a way to keep the really good players. And they're going to keep the guys that they think can manifest themselves into to a higher level of play on their next contract. Mm-hmm. And I think we've seen that. Obviously, Travis and Patrick and Chris Jones. A guy like Drew Tranquil gets a nice contract. Nick Bolton now is entering that phase. So I think the Chiefs know that the defense is really critical. And I think this gives those guys some comfortability knowing that, hey, they're going to get a pretty massive pay bump for year 5 of their deals. And or at least get that money that maybe they might not would have if they'd have been a second-round pick, obviously. But for Kansas City, for Brett Veach, he's always looking. We talk about this, 2 or 3 guys ahead, 2 to 3 years ahead.
Sure.
And then what's the next guy? Who do I got to replace? What do I have to do? And we saw in this draft, offensive line was addressed, defensive line was addressed, cornerback was addressed, a running back was addressed, linebacker was addressed. What if scenarios in case guys that they currently have starters can't sign, or can these guys push the starters from last year to become starters this year? So he always has his eyes in the future, and he always has a 3-year window. Yeah. The 3-year window is over. The Chiefs went to 3 straight Super Bowls, won 2, lost 1. Now it's the next 3-year window because you're going to be losing Travis Kelce. You're not going to have. There's going to be other guys that are going to be gone. You may have a new starting right tackle in 2026. So everything has to be done in a way that you want to protect the guys that you're going to pay, and these guys are going to get paid.
True.
Yeah, the draft is the most important thing that's just team building 101, especially when it comes to the NFL. You've got the quarterback in place. You want to have your pass rushers. You want to have a corner. You want to have like an explosive, on the offensive side of the ball. Those are going to be the main guys that you pay. And then the draft picks have to start to come up. So, we talk, I guess, looking at it deeper and deeper after my initial reaction with Ashton Gelati. But if you look at it, if things don't go the way they hope, is your George replacement.
Right.
If things don't go the way they hope for Cuffs, Noel Williams is his replacement. Yeah. That's the key but these guys have to start to step up early enough so that you can be confident in when you technically let them go or trade them or do something. And that's just going to be the way it is, until Patrick retires and they get another quarterback.
Don't say it out loud.
They get another quarterback on a rookie contract.
Yeah, I agree.
I listen to guys will be back. Don't be too sad. We'll survive without you.
Yeah.
But Weston makes a great point too.
The hammies are a little sore today.
Yeah. The future tight end is on his way. Jake Brenningstool from Clemson.
I've been hearing a lot about this dude.
Undrafted free agent. I watched more film on him yesterday, and I thought, man, this kid,
he's getting more hype.
How does he not get drafted?
Than the guys we drafted.
Well, even Jason Dunn.
And they drafted Jared Wiley last year, which we were this excited. I think there was a lot of excitement for him last year, and the gold jacket. I think that's kind of where the gold jacket was born.
Please don't put a gold jacket on him. Oh, hey, Bolt. Hey, don't put a gold jacket on him. Let's
at least get him on the field for like a practice.
I'm just telling you, as an unwrapped gift present, he looks, the outside paper and the bow looks pretty good.
To get him as an undrafted free agent, I would imagine he was probably one of the top 20 to 25 UDFAs.
Yeah.
I would have to say. It seemed like on some of the boards, on the media boards, if you would, or guys that are draft experts, he was a draftable tight end. He probably was going to be a little bit late. So, anyway, that's a good get. Let's give him a chance. Let's get him in pads. Let's see how it rolls.
The hype is too real for this dude. Hey, like y'all stated, he was undrafted, man, and they hyping him up more than the people they drafted. So I mean, am I excited about it for the guy? Yes, I'm definitely excited because I want to see what this man can do. Because I know in summer games he's going to kick ass. So I'm excited for him more.
He's got a great opportunity.
Come on, man. Come on.
He gets to learn from Travis. Wiley's going to be out till probably September, October, maybe November. I think the Chiefs will carry 4 tight ends. I just love the kid. I mean, this is I don't gush often when it comes to undrafted free agents.
Wow.
So since I didn't get Devin Neal to Kansas, this is my next best obsession. I think Mr. Brenningstool is going to be a terrific player for the Chiefs.
Wow.
Dang.
Okay. There you go.
I mean, the hype is real for this kid. I hope he make the team. I hope he
at least it is on this show.
I'll be seeking that mini helmet autograph from him because I'm curious.
Yeah, I know. I did notice that Jason Dunn had spoken very highly of him.
Very highly of him.
And others have as well.
What up, Robert?
The difficult thing is when you have a player that has all those skills and size and everything else, and just wasn't used as much in their offense. I would say the same thing about Gunnar Helm at Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more of a wide receiver based offense. So it wasn't like he was putting up huge numbers. So we'll see when he gets into a position that he has a chance to kind of show his worth. Let's see. But wow, he pumped the brakes a little.
I'm not pumping the brakes. And Ruben, thanks, man. Yes, I'm smiling. I'm over it all.
They all
be excited. Man. The Chiefs got the best tight end available in undrafted free agency. They got the best running back in the 7th round. They got the best offensive tackle in the 1st round. And they scattered a bunch of good defensive players in between. I'm all in.
Man, I can tell.
So, and even Jalen Watson talking about the secondary. Anybody else loving how the cornerback room's looking? I mean, Joshua Williams could be the odd man out, especially if they bring Snead back. So there's certainly a lot of options, but this, with the addition of Fulton and Noel, I mean, you're all of a sudden
even if they even if they don't bring Snead back, I mean, Nazi and Joshua are going to have a great, not just in a good enough camp to make the team, but they're going to have to really show that they're going to be contributors. They're ready to rock and roll, and if they don't, then one of them, if not, both of them might be shown the door.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey. My motto, they're going to have to battle. They're going to have to battle. But about this Barstool kid, if I said his name right, I mean, I never seen a guy undrafted be so praised so much by everybody, man. I'm like, this is crazy. So man, damn it! Is he better than Wiley? Is he better than Wiley? Is he gonna be better than Wiley, man?
We don't know what Wiley's gonna be yet.
We don't know. We didn't
know last summer either, and I think that the praises were being sung to the heavens. I mean, this was an angel fallen to the sky, fallen to the earth. I mean, wow! Right. And I like the athleticism. I'm pretty sure I was the first one to have him in a mock draft to the Chiefs, but that's okay.
You and Nick Jacobs had him highly praised too.
I'll take Hense's place today. That was my pick.
Yeah, that's true. And everybody, Ruben said Ross looking good, man. I don't want Ross, man. That's my guy, man. I'm waiting for this man to get on the field.
Working hard, baby. I'm telling you.
I'm rooting for him.
When it clicks. I'm telling you, I don't know if it's here. I don't know if it's another team. I don't know if it's in another league. I don't know what, but when it clicks, it's going to be special. I just thought about it. I've got a feeling.
I just thought about something though, Lou. Remember we was talking about the receivers, the Andy Reid likes, the small, shifty guys. And I thought about it. Ross is tall, so I don't believe he's not
that guy, and that's that's why I always say that when you all bring up these guys like the consummate X receiver, and they just don't draft them.
Yeah,
right. I mean, it was kind of strange. It was kind of strange when they signed D-Hop because he's not really the type of receiver they usually have.
Exactly.
I mean, Juju's a big receiver, but he plays on the inside. So yeah, I have a hard time just making that leap because they've never done it. So we'll see.
Jordan asked who are the top 4 receivers. Mango says Rice, Hollywood, Worthy, Royals.
Today, absolutely.
I don't think you argue that point whatsoever. You're talking about, speed, and speed. You got 4 guys who are going to run fast. And it was interesting today on Royals. One of the NFL guys was talking about him and basically said that he was about 80% at the combines. He still ran a little less than a 4.4. So if he's 100%, I think that speed is going to be a little different, be a little bit better. But, you add that and, of course, Weston, you're right. You add my boy, future golden, you add Smith into the mix as far as speed goes. Yeah, that's great. But I think those are the top 4 guys for now. And okay, bow tie, Nico. Nico's the 5th guy, maybe 6th. I still wouldn't be shocked if they added a veteran receiver, even though they've got Juju Smith-Schuster. I just wouldn't.
The names have kind of come up because the teams that didn't get wide receivers like Dallas, I think Buffalo. But I mean, the name that keeps coming up, and the one that we brought up before as well, is Amari Cooper in terms of a veteran receiver. I mean, Keenan Allen's still out there. I don't know how old the guy is. It seems like he's 33. Been around. Sounds like he's been around would you pick him up?
He's the same age as he's.
I don't know. I mean, the way the Chiefs are constructed right now, the only way I would bring in a veteran receiver at this point is if I had an idea what Rashid's availability, if it was well into the season, then I would say yes, because you don't want to give away the early part of the season and just be counting on him to come back after a suspension. But if you're going on the assumption that, well, this hasn't been adjudicated yet, it doesn't look like it's going to be anytime soon. No. So the NFL's not going to make they not going to make their move, then you just say, dude, I mean, why would you? I mean, whose spot is he going to take? Who are you going to remove from the equation? And I wouldn't remove any of them. Even Royals, the rookie, I think you want to get him as many snaps as quickly as possible so he can develop quickly, because you've seen over the last couple of years between Rashid and Xavier, typically it takes well into like midway through the season before they really start kind of finding their feet in the offense and basically understanding Patrick and the way he sees the field.
I thought about, what if Royal come down there and he actually earned a spot and he beat out Sky Moore? I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm like, damn, man, he came out here.
Royals?
Yeah, man. Like,
well, it's not gonna be that tough to do.
No, well, it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with Sky. It doesn't have anything to do with Sky at this point. I think Jalen Royals was drafted to be
Sky's had
to be their 4th receiver. I don't think there's any question about that.
He's had 3 years to prove himself. And listen, I love the kid. They touted him as this player. We all loved him coming out of college. All of us did. Every Chiefs person in the kingdom thought, draft this guy. I heard it all at the beginning of the second round up until the Chiefs picked him, and they moved down and they still got him. Everybody praised it. Again, in college, best route runner, best hands. He had
everything. He's got huge hands.
Yeah. But I'm talking about the way he positioned himself on the field in college was second to none of any wide receiver.
And it's just not everybody makes that jump. Whenever you level up, it's even hard to describe what it is. I mean, going from high school to college is one thing, but when you go, every single guy you go against is like an elite athlete. Everything is different. Everything gets sped up. Whatever routes he was running at Western Michigan or Central Michigan, whichever one of those schools he went to, escapes me right, to Central Michigan maybe. But it's not the Andy Reid offense. It's not a professional offense where you kind of have to learn a little bit more, because a lot of these college receivers aren't running the same type of routes you run in the NFL. So it's just unfortunate that we're 3 years in, and now he's in his contract year, and we still really don't know what he is.
Yeah.
The only assumption you can make is that he's just not where they expected him to be.
Yeah.
So
that's obvious.
He's behind the 8 ball this summer for sure.
And to his credit, he's working his tail off in the offseason. He's working.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I mean, it's not because it's a lack of effort. That is probably the most frustrating thing for the coaching staff, for Brett Veach that used a 2nd round pick on him is that everything that they liked about him is still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it just hasn't. He hasn't been able to put it together.
I hope he does, because man, like when he reached that level and he recognized who he is as far as the greatness in Sky Moore, man, it's gonna be phenomenal, man. I do expect him to have a big season. I expect him to play outstanding in summer games, man. I want to see this young man really excel, man. I do believe in Sky Moore still, just like I believe in Justin Ross. But I do believe this is gonna be Ross's year, like Sky Moore's year, to really step up, man, play big this year.
Well, they'll get a chance, but they got to have to prove it quickly. And again, we don't know the situation with Rice, as Lou mentioned. Neither court case.
You had a lot of guys. A lot of guys battling for one spot.
Yeah.
Remigio, and then one of the undrafted free agents of Badger.
That level of competition, gentlemen.
Well, here's the other thing. Now, again, this is going to be blasphemous. Mango might lose his mind. But if Brashard Smith or Noel Williams turns out to be like an elite returner, now you don't have to keep Nico if he's not all that as a receiver, and maybe somebody else has a chance to take that spot.
Yeah. I think
you gotta let the battles.
Yeah, we gotta let him battle. I think no matter what, Nico's gonna have the edge just from been there, done that. It's gonna be enough for those two guys to learn. Yeah. Listen, for Nolan Smith, or for Royals and Smith, learn the playbook that's about this thick, and learn that first, and then worry about the special team stuff. Get as comfortable as you can in the offense, and then
catch the ball and get upfield.
Yeah, as Herm Edwards said, get upfield, see the ball, catch the ball, tackle the ball, and that's
right,
it.
But that's what I'm saying.
Just worry about that.
There isn't much. And I'm saying that returning is easy. I think that it's very instinctive. Obviously, you have to understand the calls that they make, what the blocking scheme is for a particular return. Yeah. But I don't think that's going to take away from them learning their respective playbooks if it's Brashard or Noel Williams. So, hey, if they got a little bit more speed, a little bit more juice.
Elusive, a little bit, more pop. But that's the thing.
The more you can do, the more.
No, I thought Nico did a really good job when his.
He did absolutely. They will have to beat him out.
Yeah, but so here's the thing: is remember, every year it's about competition. Every year the competition is going to raise, just like in the wide receiver room. Because I definitely want to see Scott get busy, and I do like Royal, but you gotta love it. You gotta love summer games, man, because we're gonna see the cream gonna rise to the top. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all for the battle. I'm all for it, man. I want to see these young men excel, man, raise their level of competition. I want to see all that. Hell, even Patrick Mahomes can get beat out.
Well, for probably what? Not, but yeah.
Hey, man, the best quarterback, you want to put the best product out there, man. I'm just saying, the best product out there. Who knows? It's all about competition. I'm just saying.
There we go. All right, we already know for compensatory picks for next year after the Chiefs bounce out their free agent signings and the losses. They are expected to receive a 7th round compensatory pick for wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins. So basically, that's what they get out of the deal. They got a veteran guy who played well at times, struggled in the postseason, and is what it is. The Chiefs obviously had a good free agent class. They lost some key guys, but I think they've done a really good job at replacing them. But for next year, in 2026, the Chiefs will have a pick in each round, plus an extra 7th because they traded their 4th round pick to move up in the 5th round to get Bosa.
It said D-Hop went to the ops. Now, hey, man, he's a football player, man. He's going to the best opportunity. He's going to attend to give him the best opportunity to be productive.
That's the worst team he could go play for.
Come on. Lamar Jackson should have been MVP. I mean, he's going to throw the ball. They're going to throw the ball a whole lot more over there. So
worst team to go for his career. It's just my 10 cents. He just wanted to be reunited with Derrick Henry. So good luck to the Ravens. All right, Kareem. Kareem gave me a lot of crap, and Mango a lot of crap. But on March 21st, prior to the draft, he said Josh Simmons would be an incredible get for the Chiefs if he falls. A plus with the shades on, the Ray-Bans on.
So Kareem is flip-flopping. So now Kareem talking about it's the elf. So what is Kareem? Are
he's
you
just
on
doing
here?
his stick, man. He's just doing his stick on the show.
Yeah. Nah, hey, that's a receipt now, Kareem. You don't want to say it, man.
He is the agent of chaos.
Yeah,
he will post for the greatest effect and to ire the people that may be thinking otherwise.
Hey, man.
So yeah, I'm
there
not going to put too much credence.
It even got 39 views. So at least 39
strong 39 views.
That's right.
Crazy.
That's
strong 39 views, man.
But
that's
Simmons, we all love Simmons, and if I'm not mistaken, a current Chief has indicated that he thinks he's going to be very special. So
we know. No, tell Kareem, I do want to smoke. Kareem knows so.
Travis Kelce talking about Josh Simmons on this New Heights podcast today. I don't think we're going to have to wait and see. Signed, sealed, and delivered. This guy is going to be a Hall of Famer. If Travis Kelce says that,
come on,
that's a pretty good statement from a guy who's seen a lot of tackles.
Say that out loud.
And lined a lot of tackles, lined up against a lot of tackles, and been opposed by a lot of tackles.
He's been hanging
out
to
try to block some.
Is Hense and Travis hanging out? I mean, they got the gold jacket before he puts the helmet on. Let's go. All right.
But I mean, Lou, the confidence is there. I'm not gonna knock the confidence. Shout out!
I get it. Hey,
shout out to Shador, man.
He's got a show too. He's got to get some people clicking in.
Hey, quick question, man. Joe Flacco still play for the Browns, right?
Well,
he's technically the starting quarterback. Yeah,
he came back.
So it's gonna be a tough battle for Shador. Just I mean, a little off subject, but I'm just saying. So okay.
Well, I mean,
how about the Falcons being fined for being the notorious fake caller?
Now that's bad. Come on, that's insult to injury, man. You keep the man
out of the league, man.
For real, that's not right.
There's no room for that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest thing is I would say is how many. I mean, outside of the general manager, then the general manager can decide who gets those numbers. Because I would imagine, and I'm sure it's been said, that most of the guys, especially that are expected, like first round, second round, third, whatever, even if you're going to get like a burner. So you're going to get a different phone number.
They have burners.
So they send out this list of numbers. Why is the defensive coordinator getting this list? And then on top of that, Coach Ulbrich, what's up with your kid? Deciding, you know what, Dad? I'm going to look at your work.
Right.
Your Microsoft Surface NFL issued tablet or whatever the hell you want to call it. And let's just see how this goes.
I'm going to have some fun with
in this day and age. I mean, do you remember, Nick, when we were younger? I mean, that was making prank calls was a thing. Okay,
it was a thing.
I mean,
it was a lot of fun.
Very few people had.
Nick, it was a lot of fun.
Had caller ID.
Those were the rotary phones,
right? There was no social media. It was just you just get this random call. The phone rings. You just pick it up and say hello, and you banked on that, right? And then you come up with different things and what your
you guys have no idea how easy it is for you to get the information now versus when Lou and I were starting, and even more so, it's just absolutely insane. To go back and go in the 70s.
That was a night.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk
it was
about
all one night.
Who gets the phone? I mean, it's fighting over.
So back in the day, so that was y'all thrill back in the day. Prank calling back in the day.
When ESPN,
it was a thrill, Coach.
Yeah, when ESPN showed the draft.
Stop playing, Coach. It was awesome. Damn it, it was good.
It was a thrill, not just the thrill. But
when
you just dial some random number and.
Yeah, we didn't. Yeah, but we did prank calls all the time. This is Detective Smith. Your son has been arrested. Now I'm admitting all this stuff some 58 years later.
Yeah, man.
But back in the day, listen, TPing houses and doing prank calls are pretty much a weekend event.
We're not advocating
violence of any sorts. We're doing prank calls. The prank calls today are robocalls, and weird texts that we all
just gonna bring it to them. Shador and that was going through a tough time. That's not fun, man. Them boys.
I don't like him that much, but I don't.
He wasn't the only one. There was actually a bunch.
I've seen that.
A couple of them were reported, so we'll see what they come up with.
I think Isaiah Bonds
yeah,
one.
like I
Isaiah
think
Bonds too.
The Falcons got hit for like $250,000. Coach Ulbrich $100,000. So I don't think his son's going to be getting an allowance anytime soon.
Yeah,
that's right.
Although he's 20, he's 21 years old too. So hopefully,
Now there goes his college fund right down the tubes.
There it is. There it is.
All right. Well, not to get ahead of ourselves, but the 2026 NFL draft will be 1 year from today. And Mango did his selections in the first round. Christian Miller,
Mango,
defensive lineman from Georgia. Max Clare, another tight end. Interesting. Peyton Bowen, safety from Oklahoma. Quentin Joyner, who I really like, running back out of Texas Tech. DeAndre Moore Jr., another Texas native. And then Jalen Braxton, cornerback out of Mississippi. That 31 would represent the Chiefs being the runner-up in the Super Bowl again, which we don't want to see. So
I mean, Mango, I love what you're doing, Mango, but damn it, tight end again. Shit, we already got gold jacket already. We got like 6 tight ends.
Kelsey. You got to replace Kelsey.
Shit, man, you got 50 Shades Wiley. Then
you're talking about Brenning Stool like he's the next coming of Gronk or something. So
hey, Bowtie, don't be putting no F like that, man. Come on, don't be doing that Kareem stuff, man. Mango did his due diligence on this one, man. Mango knows his stuff, Mango. There's nothing wrong with be ahead of the game. You 5 steps ahead, man. There's nothing wrong with it. There ain't nothing wrong with it, man.
And Blake's chiming in. What freak had us losing? All right. All good. Bowtie didn't care for the. I don't think Bowtie cared for the tight end or the draft.
He said what freak had us losing.
Oh, here it is. Automatically set at 31. All right, fair enough. You couldn't change it.
Oh, snap.
All good. No, we knew that. We're just
messing with Mango.
It's all. There it is again. Look at that.
Yeah.
Defensive line, no offensive line there.
You missed it.
Yeah. Let me see. Look, what we got safety here, running back. Well, guys, we don't know. Running back situation is crazy. We don't know.
Will be a free agent.
You don't have a ton of people on, under contract for next year outside of Rashard Smith.
That's it. That's all they got. And I even saw some 53 roster projections, and they had the Chiefs carrying.
Wow.
I saw that already, and a lot of people have the Chiefs carrying the 4 running backs, but no fullback this year.
Man, so they throwing the L bombs on the comment section. Somebody on this panel usually don't do this. He throwing the L bombs, man. Listen.
Yeah, well, he's in non-visual mode.
Young man, Mango love tight ends, man. You know what I'm saying? Mango won.
You can never have enough. Look last year. Yeah, we didn't. Look at last year. You never can't have enough cornerbacks. Tight ends, wide receiver, offensive, defensive lineman. So,
man, hell.
There we go. He's back in the house. Ikoe's in the house. We missed you too, man. Appreciate you very much for being on the show. Hence language. Yeah, Ruben's slamming you, Hence. It's all fair. It's all good.
Man, you know what, Mango? God, just Mango's ahead of the game. But for me, the DB, the secondary for me is big for me, man. Because like I stated, like today, man, like Joshua Williams, to me, I know Lou, that's your guy. Noah Williams, man, I want to see what Noah Williams is going to bring to the table because when I scouted him, he do play man-to-man very well, and he's very instinctive. So I do like that part about him, man. Because like I said, with high specs like his guys, man, can tackle, can play man, and you got to have good instincts, man. You got to have good instincts to play in this defense, especially in the secondary. So I'm excited about him, man. I am.
Again, a consensus is it's going to be, it's been an interesting offseason to date. I think the Chiefs attacked the needs in free agency.
They did.
Set them up in the draft. They were very aggressive moving up in the rounds in rounds, round 4, round 5, and round 7 to get a couple of guys they were really high on. And I think the undrafted free agent list, and again, a lot of the lists that we put up at chiefsblitz.com were guys that were invited, as well. And so we'll see if they get signed, and the Chiefs going to have.
Hey, what's going on with Steele, man? Nobody talking about Steele. Do the Kingdom still believe in Steele? What's going on? Like,
I think he's in the mix, but I think it's going to be tough for him unless they get rid of Pacheco.
There's going to be some serious battles. I mean, the running back room is not. I don't think is set by any stretch. Exactly. I think the 5th and or 6th receivers going to be a huge battle for that. Yeah. The corner room, hell, the safeties. So there's a lot in flux here because it also depends how they're gonna deploy some of these guys. I don't know that Nazi has shown really much that he can play corner full time.
Right.
Joshua, yeah, he's got some good tape, some not so good tape. So those are going to be some tough battles. Offensive line, I think it'll just be more in terms of how they fit the pieces, right? I don't know if there's going to be like any upsets like coming from nowhere to make the team.
Yeah.
They could maybe like as like 7th and 8th guys, but I would imagine Athan Driscoll is going to be one of those guys that's in the mix at tackle. I think the guards, the 2 kids they drafted last year, Norzad and Hansen, need to step up and show that we're earning our keep. We're going to keep our positions as draft picks from the previous year. So even though this is Super Bowl team, a lot of positions are in flux and out there for the taking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another guy. I want to answer the question. Let's see, where is it here? About the kid from Pittsburgh, the undrafted free agent. That's Brandon George, another highly rated guy. Certainly a lot of people felt he would be drafted. I think he's got a chance to make. I think he's got a good chance to make the team too.
Athletic freak.
Yeah, right? I think there's 4. I think Essa, the offensive tackle they got from Washington State, is really good. Now, he didn't play a lot of college football at the tackle position, but he's a bohemian of a man. He's
the kid we had high hopes for last year, undrafted linebacker from Penn State, Curtis Jacobs, who we thought was going to be a perfect fit, and didn't work out. I think he went to New England. I don't know if he's still with it, if he's still on the team or not, or whatever. Right. So, but this George is an athletic freak. I mean, he's got all the measurables, the ability in terms of the explosion with the jumps. He's really fast, straight line speed. So it's going to come down, can he tackle in space? Mm-hmm. Can he play special teams? Yeah. And then we'll see if, at some point, if he can play, scrimmage football. But
because Isaiah Izzard, the defensive tackle undrafted from Penn State, he's a mauler too. He's a player. He's really, really good. Right. And again, I love the way the Chiefs attacked, the undrafted free agency. They paid for some of the top talent, and they paid the most for a lot of these guys that they really, really wanted. So I could see 4 guys at least 4 of them that make this football team, including the punter.
We got some love on here, man. Everybody likes
Anita. Okay, is this just because he's a very handsome young man?
I think
do you really like how he plays? Because he is a very handsome young man. No question about that. He's a good player, but is he a long-term Chief? I will be surprised if he comes back after this year. And nothing against him, just kind of the business of the game. Yeah. Right. If these guys, obviously, Brashard Smith is what we think he is. Elijah Mitchell is healthy and has a decent year.
Yeah, let's not go to sleep on him.
Yeah, and then it always comes down to money as well. So but no, we appreciate Anita, of course.
Right. I'm just Broncos team's got the question: Denver, KC, or LA taking the division this year? So here's what I think.
This is gonna be tough.
I think it's the Chiefs. No, it's the Chiefs.
What about the Raiders?
Yeah, we don't consider the Raiders. I heard like 6 people.
Well, don't leave them out.
We're leaving them out because it's not possible. So, like 6 people thought they were going to make the playoffs this year. It's not happening. They say that every year.
Don't I think underestimate Pete Carroll's
I'm going to underestimate Pete Carroll until they get a legitimate quarterback.
They're going to be jacked,
man.
No, they're not going to Raider anymore. So.
Well, that doesn't mean they're not going to rate her anymore. It's unlikely.
Nick, come on now.
Listen. I said the same thing. I know, just so we're clear.
I don't think they're winning the division.
I said the same thing about Harbaugh with the Chargers. When you come in to change the culture, it takes at least a full season and a full off season to correct some of the bad habits.
Oh, absolutely.
So I don't count the Raiders now. Are the Raiders going to be a tough out? Sure, they're probably getting more difficult to play. But I think to answer Broncos 2's question, I will say this. I think it's the Chiefs division until somebody beats them. I think the Broncos are number 2, and that's a close number 2 in my book, because I think their defense is the best defense in the division. That's just me.
And
the Chargers still have to prove that Justin Herbert, now with more weapons on offense, a year under the Harbaugh belt, can he take the team to the next level, which we have not seen yet, which is incredibly remarkable considering all the accolades he gets, the records he breaks. He is not a December, January quarterback yet. So that's going to be the determination.
Right.
He could have a great
I don't know that he's really had the team around him to this point. And like you said, I mean, the second year of that program, a second draft, I think the culture has changed.
Yeah. And they had a good draft.
180 degrees.
It just, can you dial in? Can you go dial in?
I think, Denver and LA hugely improved squads. I mean, I don't think it. Yeah. I would be shocked if the Chiefs sweep the division again.
No.
Now they didn't last year. They kind of gave that last game away. But typically they're 5-1, 6-0, at worst 4-2 in the division year after year, and more often than not, it's a sweep. So I don't know that happens. I mean, a lot of things would have to break right for the Chiefs for that to happen. And I'm not saying in game. I'm saying if that left tackle position is nailed down, if that second corner position is nailed down.
Everybody talking about Bo Nix sophomore slump.
Any of those teams is going to be able to beat them for the division.
Hey, everybody talking about Bo Nix sophomore slump. They talking about he's going to have a sophomore slump, man.
I mean, he's the key, to everything that they do. And they got the speedster from South Florida, from UCF. He's going to be a good player. They've got some weapons on offense. They've got a solid offensive line. They have a great coach in Sean Payton, who I normally diss, but I thought the job he did last year and going on a limb for Bo Nix, when a lot of teams, after starting 5 years in college and bouncing around from school to school, you don't really know, but he saw something, and he put up with a lot of bad quarterback play early in the Bo Nix career over the first 4 weeks, and then he just kind of kicked it into gear. And of course, he had 2 really good games against the Chiefs. So,
you saw it last year a little bit with CJ Stroud, but it wasn't like he fell off the map. They still made and won a playoff game.
Right.
As bad as it was down the stretch and that embarrassment on Christmas against Baltimore, they came back and they win a home playoff game where they're dogs. The previous year, they were dogs to the Browns and they beat them too. So it can be a thing. You've seen it in the past. It's okay. Defenses are going to catch up. They see what they like. Defensive coordinators now they game plan.
I don't think Bo Nix have a signature. I think he doesn't have a signature. He's just a good quarterback. We'll
see, but they are going to run the ball a lot. And taking CJ Harvey where they did tells you a little bit about that. And it's just Peyton's MO, and it's going to be play action. So. Again, he may not have the same numbers that he had last year, but his command will be even greater.
Yeah.
And the defense is going to be as good.
Yeah.
So that's going to keep them in games. Yeah. Gives him a little bit more margin for error.
Yeah.
So I expect the division to be like kind of balls.
Hey, Nick, shout out to Brock Bowers though, because remember Brock Bowers was kicking ass, man, all last year. Now you got Geno, a decent quarterback, right at the helm. I don't know. Brock Bowers just might be, man. I'm not gonna say breakout, but he broke out last year. Now he gonna. Brock Bowers is something special. Now you got Geno.
Bowers is elite. I can pick tight ends. I have proven that over the years.
Damn, man.
Wow, damn, man.
I may be shit at the other positions, but I can pick out tight ends.
Okay. Is Emily listening?
No.
I'm great. I can pick a tight end. I can pick a tight end. You hear me?
Yeah.
I can pick tight ends. There you go.
No, but you know what?
Brock Bowers is kind of can't miss. I mean, he was as a freshman, he would have been maybe as a sophomore, he was ready to play in the NFL. That's a guy like Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State. They need to change the rules. He has no business playing college football 2 more years, right?
Yeah, it's insane.
Guys like that.
When they expand to 18 games, I think that's one of the things they're going to change.
Yeah, I mean, Brock Bowers coming in, Joe Alt coming in. I mean, those guys almost can't miss as you can get, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
But yeah, I understand. No, I mean, they drafted Jack Best. They brought in one of the gold jacket guys, Dante Thornton from Tennessee, which again, if you listen
if they put that together, man, like that clicks, it's gonna be special.
Yeah.
And don't sleep on Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer, the tight end from Notre Dame.
He's really good too.
Yeah.
All right, couple things here. Canadian Chunk, when did the jersey announcers for the rookies come out? I would anticipate they're going to be out Thursday. Rookie camp starts Friday, so I think we'll see that.
Is this a generational thing?
It must be.
Mango, the numbers thing is like huge and whatever. I just never, I never saw it. I never really felt that way. But I mean, please tell us in the chats if anybody's a little bit in a younger demographic.
It's a huge
number
thing.
that big? Is it because you're buying the jersey? Is that it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It is what it is. I mean,
so if the guy gets this number versus that number, does it matter?
No, because remember, like if you look good, you play good. You know what I'm saying? The number has to fit who you are.
The number has to fit your personality. When the league changed the numbers,
man.
So this is one that was going around social media.
Yeah,
Speaking of
even some of the Chiefs draft picks had contacted us about what numbers were available.
Yeah, man.
So a receiver, he was an LSU receiver. He was, I think, originally drafted by the Panthers. Terrace Marshall.
I'm grabbing a Galati jersey
too. Of course, he signs with the Eagles recently.
Yeah.
His number of choice this time, 46.
There you go.
At wide receiver.
Yes.
Yeah. See, that are to me, now again, my feeling about a number is that may be like one of the dumbest numbers you could possibly wear. I don't know what that's
just breaking the mold.
I don't know what that says about anybody. If you're wearing number 46, you're like the third string fullback, or you're playing special teams, or maybe a kicker if you want to be cute, and just not have a single digit. But that just 46.
Hey, both sides very adamant about a question about Mahomes. If the team that got Mahomes, he's not worried. He's talking about a clean sweep. He talking about a clean sweep.
Yeah, I answered the question. Yes, Mahomes is the best quarterback in the division, and yes, it's possible they sweep, but I think it's going to be a little bit tougher.
It's only kryptonite, the good defensive line.
But again, but Patrick Mahomes has a chip on his shoulder. So there's no question about it.
And Patrick is going to be Patrick. I think the things that I mentioned have to be left tackle's got to be settled. I believe cornerback.
Are we doing a 2026 draft film, Mango?
Come on now.
Is that what we got coming up here?
Here we go. Quarterback 2.
Oh, look at it. There it is, DeAndre Moore.
Get those Texas wide receivers out there.
They all fast though. Well,
I
got good hands, man. Well.
Just run them. Hey, Isaiah Bond's out there too. It's a possibility.
So would y'all be happy to get Isaiah Bond? Let's say our Bonds do get the situation took care of. Like, would y'all be?
Hell yeah.
Would y'all be acceptable for him to come to the Kansas City Chiefs?
I would stash him on the roster for a year. That's what I would do. I would take a chance on him.
He got the speed though. He got the speed. Hey, Lou, and he's shifty too, Lou. He got the speed and he's shifty. So.
He was. To me, he was really good at Alabama. I mean, so it's just a kind of carryover. Now, again, last year probably didn't go as well as he would have expected or would have liked to have. But when you're sharing the ball with a bunch of other receivers, none of them are going to stand out. And Golden, so anyway, Is in terms of Bond, would you give him a chance?
Yeah.
If they were comfortable with the. What's happening with him and what he's allegedly been accused of.
Right.
There you go.
I don't know if charges have been brought.
I don't think anything. I don't think it again. The Texas court systems is slow.
Well, we've
very
seen
slow.
that with Rasheed. I mean, come on.
Yeah. We don't even know when that's going to be.
But based on the way the draft went, you got to believe that most teams took them off their boards completely.
Oh yeah.
So he goes through. I don't think those teams are going to change.
Yeah, the evidence is bad. Let's just be honest. The evidence is bad.
I have no idea.
And he said, she said, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, ultimately the district attorney has to decide.
Yeah. What's crazy though? But it's all these young men coming out here. It's always something with these young men. They got potential. They got the talent. It's just they always.
It's very easy to dissect it.
Well, not always. I mean, let's give the players that don't get in trouble, give them some credit for kind of keeping it between the lines.
Exactly. I understand.
But
I'm
I
just
would
saying, though,
say
it's like,
if you looked at like if you really wanted to get like deep on this, I mean, you look at like as a percentage of society that does these kinds of things and use the same percentage versus draftable any sport players, it's just gonna happen.
it just comes with it. I get.
Yeah, you would hope because of the discipline that they show in their profession.
Yeah.
Or allegedly show in their profession that they could show in their personal life too. But then again, you're going to have mistakes happen. There's going to be false claims too. So you just got to kind of wait and see how it all plays out.
Sometimes I try to keep it on the field. I try to keep it on the field. I'm like, I try to, but I'm drafting a player that's a great player, but he had off the field issues. I'm like, what is he doing on the field? And I'll give him the opportunity. Talk to him, mentor him a little bit, get him going. You know what I'm saying? It's just all about mentorship.
Mike Green this year. I mean, he was he's a top 2 or 3 edge rusher in the draft. A lot of people saw him as the best edge rusher in the draft, and he doesn't go till second round, late into the middle of the second round.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if he was charged.
No,
in those
I don't think
cases.
he was.
And I think he did address it head on prior to, because I think he was initially at he went to school. He was at a different school, Virginia, maybe.
Right.
And then transferred to Marshall, and it happened somewhere else. So, but anyway, the bottom line is one team has to be comfortable with that situation.
Right.
We'll give you a shot.
And that's the thing too. I mean, a lot of problems. I mean, when I covered, when I was out there on a daily basis during the War Paint Illustrated years, I got to know these draft picks, and I got to know their families, and I got to know the entourage. And what happens a lot
pre-social media, Nick.
Pre-social media. So a lot of things are like, if you're a popular athlete and you come from a less fortunate situation, which happens a lot in the NFL, NBA, all sports, but particularly in the NFL, those guys who are your buddies are going to expect and want to be part of your entourage when you make it go from college to the NFL. I think we saw that with Rashee Rice. I don't think he's hanging around those guys anymore. You learn your lessons, but I can think of I think I've said this before. Glenn Dorsey, former first-round pick, top pick for the Kansas City Chiefs. We were doing our Dustin and Debo radio show, the Boomer Grigsby show. I'm sorry,
top 5 pick.
And so we're doing the show, and I think Dustin Colquitt was on the show as well that day. And so we're in the break, and I always got along great with Glenn, obviously. And Glenn would say, "Yeah, man." He goes to Dustin. He goes, "You should think about doing this investment." Yeah, just my buddy's got this computer thing, and so both of us started asking him questions like, "What was it?" And it was just his buddy, and his buddy just got a bunch of money out of him, right. And the thing never materialized. And you had situations like that. Now, fortunately, he could absorb it because he was pretty highly paid and pretty highly drafted by the Chiefs. But again, it's very difficult. And now, as Lou said, under social media, everything is available. Everything's under a microscope. Everybody is mentioning something. If you've got an axe to grind, you go to social media and you air it out. And if you're accusing somebody of something, you go to social media. It's everywhere, and everybody jumps onto it because everybody wants that 15 minutes of fame.
They do.
And they go after these. They target these guys. And I've seen some really vicious things targeted at professional athletes from people. And say what you want about the current version of Tyreek Hill, but what happened to him almost a decade ago, where the facts were the facts and the facts weren't getting out there. And once the facts came out there, even the NFL said the kid did nothing wrong. Now, he hasn't made the best decisions off the field since, but the bottom line is when you come from humble beginnings, and all of a sudden you're on a Super Bowl winning team, or you're in the NFL, or you're in Major League Baseball, and you've had all these guys who've supported you for everything. But now you got the NILs. These kids in college are making serious bank, so they can kind of take care of their guys if they want to. But they expect that to continue at the NFL level. And, that's something that these teams have people that go and analyze all that. They look at every aspect of this kid's life. They go onto their social media accounts. They look at who comments and what they say. They're very detailed when it comes to making these draft picks because everyone is so critical. and so crucial. But when you start to I don't mean to get on this tangent, but I'm doing it anyway. When you start to ruin the college experience and everything that's kind of going on associated with the NIL, and I'm with Broncos too, but I don't like the NIL either. But now it just adds a whole nother dimension, and then you get to social media, and one person says something, another person says something, it goes viral, and 10,000, 100,000 people could comment on something that may end up not being true, but it still gets out there. So these guys have to really protect themselves, and for a player like Bond, we all agree that top wide receiver, probably second, third round pick, goes undrafted because of some stupid decisions, and he's paying the price. I mean, look at what came out about Ruggs, the Raiders wide receiver who went to jail. He's going to be out in a year. Now the talk is he wants to get back into the NFL, Henry Ruggs, and it's like there's going to be an NFL team that's probably going to give him a chance.
No, exactly.
So if he gets his act together and he gets through this, he'll have a chance to play in the NFL. But
if they suspend guys for a year, sometimes 2, for the gambling piece, you would think that once he does get out, and remember, you always have to apply for reinstatement.
Yes.
If you, obviously,
he'll have to go through a long process.
I mean, you saw it. How many times was it Martavis Bryant, the big wide receiver for the Steelers?
Bryant, yeah.
He kept trying to come back, then he'd come back and get trouble again. And it just, some people that just follows them, and it's nothing against Henry Ruggs. It's just that, somebody died. Okay. I mean, it's, so yeah,
I get it too. I believe if he does come back, I believe they probably going to suspend him. You know what I'm saying? Give him maybe
people make poor decisions in all walks of life. I guess what was my original point is that it's going to happen with football players as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And to Nick's point is that you trust your friends, you trust these people, but and you don't want to have to ask all those questions. Like you said, Glenn Dorsey, what is it? I don't know, but my friend's high on it, so am I.
Right.
So I'm giving him my money because I trust him. He's my buddy, and then within months, the money's gone. Right.
Yeah, it didn't work out. Right. Hopefully, he had a good CPA.
Maybe the next one.
We'll
have a better deal. So you just have to be. And I think that's maybe the one good thing, about NIL is that they're younger and they get the opportunity to learn about handling money before they get into the league.
That's a different way to look at it.
And some are going to get advice and counsel from people that are out for their best interest.
Yeah.
Some are going to get advice and counsel from people that aren't so much.
Talk about it.
Right. And it's just, you have to, as an individual, either have to have a family member that you trust that's not going to screw you over.
Yep.
Or you hire an agent or an attorney or somebody with some type of fiduciary responsibility. It's not just, hey, it's my buddy, he's going to take care of me.
You got to let
something
go.
Where, there's a contract involved and
Yeah.
Anyway,
if I I'm making big money, I'm a player, man, and I know these guys are trouble. You just gotta let them go. The higher you go, you gotta let it go. As they wait.
All right, let's hear from our sponsor one more time before we kick out.
Let's go.
Play now in Missouri. If you're looking for a great fantasy game, we've teamed up with UnderdogFantasy.com. You can play $5 and get $50. You can use the special promo code Chiefs Blitz. The game is available in 33 states. Check out the availability map. You must be 18, 19, or 21 years older to play, but it's an outstanding game. The app is very simple. You can deposit and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash for new customers, and make sure you use the Chiefs Blitz code, and so you can register to start playing this amazing game. Play Pick'em on Underdog. You can, with all your favorite NBA players, James, Curry, Ball, anybody and everybody who's in the NBA, you can play higher or lower. It is an amazing product. It's very simple to use. If I can do it, anybody can. And just make sure when you log on to UnderdogFantasy.com, make sure you use the code Chiefs Blitz. All right, there they are, Underdog Fantasy. We make it real easy here at the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, presented by ChiefsBlitz.com. The scan right there on the right, just use the QR code. Sign up for Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code Chiefs Blitz. Deposit $5 and you get $50 in bonus credits. You can start playing the game right now. Baseball, basketball, hockey, some college sports, all that stuff's available. So enjoy it. We're having a good time with it. We appreciate that being a sponsor. All right, that's going to wrap it up for this edition of the Four Guys in a Bar podcast. I'm your host, Nick Athan, along with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and the KC Mango in the back running the show. Hence, we'll see you on Friday. When we come back Friday, we will talk about the mini camp. Chiefs rookie mini camp is this weekend, and we'll highlight some of the players that we think are going to have an impact on
the four guys never sleep.
We never sleep.
Off season. What's that?
What the hell is sleep, guys?
We are here for you.
We don't need melatonin.
Here for you year
what the hell
round.
is melatonin?
Arms of an angel. Yes, that's the new theme. There you go. All right.
Arms of the angel.
All right, guys. We'll see you on Friday, 1:30 Central Time. Appreciate everybody. Have a great couple of days. Four Guys in the Bar is out.